Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Now, as you may know, Japanese boxing is absolutely flying. It really is. Obviously, Inoue has all the belts at 122, super bantam, but bantamweight is completely dominated by Japanese fighters as well. All four of those belts, the major belts, are held by Japanese fighters. And one of them is held by Yoshiki Takei, who, on the undercard of Inoue versus Donahe, took on Daigo Higa, a fellow Japanese. And Higa is a former WBC flyweight champion who lost his belt eventually to Christopher Rosales. That was his third defense, I think. And that was about 6 years ago, 2018, I think. And since then he lost one fight to Ryosuke Nishida, another Japanese fighter. He lost a 12-round decision. And that was one of those WBO Asia Pacific things. So he's waited from losing his belt to Rosales at flyweight. He's waited a long time for a second, bite of the world title cherry, and he got it against Takei, and it was a tremendous battle. Takei emerged with a unanimous decision, very, very close, and I had Takei winning by 1 point. 114, 113. I think two of the judges had it the same. But you know what? Even though it was unanimous, if you're telling me Higa won this fight by a point or two, I ain't going to argue with you. I think if there's an area where Higa lost the fight, it's probably the first 3 rounds because I gave them all to Takei. Takei's a southpaw. There's only a year difference between these two fighters. Takei's 28, Higa's 29. But Higa's got so much more experience. Takei came into this fight with 9 wins, no draws, no defeats. And like I say, he's a southpaw. He's got, I think, 8 KOs in his 9 victories, so he's heavy-handed. And first 3 rounds, he just looked so much better than Higa. He was boxing beautifully, clearly the more talented, naturally talented fighter. And Higa was just sort of plodding after him and not closing the range, not doing much that was proactive, throwing a few individual punches, couldn't really get any combinations off, serious combinations. And Takei was just sort of having his evil way with him, really, just boxing, and he looked really sharp, especially with the counters. Now in the 4th round, I don't speak Japanese, but I think probably Higa's corner said to him, you lost those first 3 rounds, you've got to get your skates on here, move. And he did. And in the 4th round, he was almost charging after Takei and putting some serious pressure on him and beginning to land punches to rough him up, to drag him into a bit of a scrap. And this continued. It continued. And by the 8th round, I thought Takei was looking, really quite badly fatigued. Suddenly his balance was a bit sloppy. He was throwing, a southpaw jab that was just a bit stringy, a bit sort of hanging it out there, and his balance was poor, too much on the front foot, and therefore it was much easier for Higa to ping some shots over and catch him. And he was catching Takei with some full-blooded punches. And Takei, tremendous chin. But I think it was a 10th round, there was what was called a knockdown in favour of Higa. I didn't agree with this because this punch clearly landed on the back of the head and put Takei over. And it definitely wasn't I don't think it was a knockdown there. I don't think it should have been called, but it was. And on they went, and again, Higa definitely looking like he was in the ascendancy, looking much, much better than he just seemed to have more energy, he just seemed to have more physical strength. And Takei clearly was looking for a second win. It was the same round as the knockdown, so that would be the 10th. He also picked up a cut. It wasn't a major cut, but it was across the left eye. This is Takei I'm talking about. And Higa really seemed like if he had a big finish, he was going to snatch this fight. But in fact, the big finish was from Takei because Higa had put so much effort into the previous rounds that in the 12th round, he didn't seem to have anything left. And Takei tore after him and was slinging, everything kitchen sink, the shower, the bath, the washing machine, the dishwasher. Throwing it all at him. Throw it all at him. Yeah, and he almost... did he almost stop him? Well, put it this way, he clearly won that round. It was by far his clearest round, that final round, since the first three. And I think that, that finish, I mean, that edged him the fight, because I think two of the cards were 114, 113, same as mine. But yeah, I mean, he just about deserved it, Takei. But they're talking about unifications, because Japanese fighters have got all 4 belts. They're talking about unifications, and Junto Nakatani has been mentioned as a possible opponent for Takei. Nah. Nakatani smashing through Takei. Takei's too easy to hit. And if you put pressure on him, controlled pressure, he can, I wouldn't say unravel, but he can become, like I say, a bit sloppy, a bit more ragged. I would definitely pick Nakatani to win that fight. That's not to say Takei can't win it, and it's not to say he's a bad fighter. He's anything but a bad fighter. And Higa as well showed he's got something left, They do say the smaller fellas age quicker in athletic terms. That may be true, in fistic terms anyway. But both these guys, 28 and 29, they looked absolutely fine. They looked, in a sense, at the peak of their powers. Higa, if he can make super fly, maybe it might be an idea to go down and try and win a belt there. He deserves another shot at a title anyway. But Takei, that's only his 10th victory now with 8 KOs, no draws, no defeats. Putting him in with Nakatani, I don't know about that. I think Nakatani takes it. But anyway, look, this was on the undercard of Inoue versus Donahue. You tell me what you think of this fight. I thought it was really absorbing. It was good because even though it wasn't what you would call an absolute barn burner, there were some action rounds, plenty of action rounds, and it was very close, and you never really knew who was going to win right until the end of it. So if you haven't seen it, it was a top-ranked promotion over in Japan. Go and have a look at it if you can catch it on YouTube or somewhere else, and tell me what you think. And what do you think of Takei? What do you think of his chances against the other bantamweight champs? Yeah, give me your opinions. Thanks, as always, for watching. Always appreciated. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It don't cost you anything, and it takes a second. And you'll really be helping out the channel, which is, again, really, really appreciated. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Speak to you soon, and bye for now.